What's up, everybody? Jordan McAbee here, lead NASCAR analyst for RotoBaller. And after a dominating performance at Las Vegas by Kyle Larson, we are on to Phoenix with the Shriners Children's 500 and the first short track race this season in the new package. The Phoenix Raceway is a 1 mile flat track, and it is very low tire wear. Some more newness added into the equation here when it comes to the NASCAR world and coming up with our picks this week. This is going to be the first race this season with the new short track package. So NASCAR made some changes to the short track package, hopefully to increase passing on these shorter tracks. The last time we were here, we decided a champion. Phoenix is always a championship race, so these teams put a lot of emphasis on this racetrack and being good here. We saw Ryan Blaney take the championship last fall with Ross Chastain going to victory lane. We also have new tires this weekend at Phoenix. Goodyear's bringing a new tire set, hoping to make the tire fall off a little bit higher this week at Phoenix. This is typically a track where we don't see much tire fall off, so tires really don't come into play. Now, when we're analyzing Phoenix, we're obviously looking at previous data. We have 4 really good races here with this next-gen car to look at. Similar tracks, we're also looking at Richmond. That is a very high tire wear track, but it is very similar to Phoenix in terms of layout and overall track shape. Also the flatness. Same with New Hampshire. You can throw New Hampshire in there. New Hampshire is a very short flat track, low wear flat track. That is a good comparison as well. Some people like to throw in Martinsville, but that's not really a good comparison to Phoenix. Martinsville has its own quirks. Martinsville is only a half-mile track. Phoenix is quite different from Martinsville, but if you're looking for a tiebreaker track, I always recommend to kind of use Martinsville for a tiebreaker. Getting into the favorites for this weekend, now obviously we just saw Kyle Larson dominate at Las Vegas. He is once again the favorite this weekend at Phoenix. William Byron, his teammate, also up there on the betting board. Larson plus 650 this week. Not quite that heavy favorite at plus 300 that we saw him at Las Vegas last weekend, but he is the favorite at plus 650. William Byron, you can get him at 8-1. Both of these guys were top 3 in average running position when you combine Phoenix, Richmond, and New Hampshire last year. Larson finished 4th and 3rd here last year. He led 201 laps in the spring race. Obviously, he's probably going to be pretty good this weekend, as is Byron. Larson was 3rd at New Hampshire. He won at Richmond. Byron won here in the spring. He finished 4th here at Phoenix in the fall. You can't go wrong with those two Hendrick boys. They're going to have speed everywhere. We're probably going to talk about them a lot this year. That's just how it is. Those two are 2 of the best drivers in this series, and they're always going to be fast. Another guy that is very fast, specifically at Phoenix, is Ryan Blaney. You can get him at plus 750 on the betting board this week. He has 5 straight top 5 finishes here at Phoenix, 2nd in each of the last 3 Phoenix races. He obviously won the championship here last fall, like I said. Weirdly enough, he does not have any wins at Phoenix, but one is coming. Penske Racing is very good at this racetrack, and Ryan Blaney specifically is very good at this racetrack. He weirdly struggles at Richmond, which we've never really been able to figure out, and he kind of struggles at New Hampshire, but he's really good at Phoenix. Ryan Blaney should be a contender this week. Ross Chastain, the most previous winner here at Phoenix, you can get him at 11-1. I locked him in personally at 12-1 when lines dropped. Got him over there at Caesars when they put him at 12-1. He's the most recent winner here. And like I always say, the more things change, the more they stay the same with this race car. This next-gen car, we really know after we have a couple races under its belt at a specific track, we know who's good there. We know who's fast. Ross Chastain has been incredibly fast. He was absolutely dominant here last fall. Went out and won the race. He has 3 top 3 finishes in the 4 Phoenix races in this next-gen car. He was also 3rd at Richmond last spring. You have to like Ross Chastain coming into this race weekend. Also, the Toyotas. They did some test races here with this new short track package. Toyota looked amazing. You can't go wrong, really, picking any of the Toyotas. Denny Hamlin's at 10-1. Christopher Bell's at 10-1. Truex is at 12-1. And Tyler Reddick is at 18-1, which we'll get to Tyler Reddick in a little bit. But Denny Hamlin, best average running position at Phoenix, Richmond, and New Hampshire, all combined last year. He's going to be a very strong pick here at Phoenix on Sunday. Christopher Bell, always very good at short flat tracks. This is his track type for sure. He's won at New Hampshire. He was 6th here at Phoenix last spring. The only issue with Bell is that he seems to kind of not quite have Phoenix figured out, but he's eventually going to get there and be a solid top 5 car most of the times when we're here. Martin Truex Jr., 5th best average running position at Phoenix, Richmond, and New Hampshire combined last year. He's at 12-1. He has a strong record here at Phoenix. He can contend. And Tyler Reddick, this guy, I already locked him in. Top Toyota at plus 650. I really like that bet. I think he's going to have the speed. He's coming off that second place finish at Las Vegas last weekend. Third here last year in the spring. This 45 car was also third in the previous race with Kurt Busch. This 45 car has been the top Toyota here in the spring race at Phoenix in the last 2 years. the last 2 years with this next-gen car. Reddick at 18-1. I like that bet. I think it's worth a sprinkle. I think there's some value there compared to the other Toyotas. Obviously, if I like him as a top Toyota, and I think that Toyota is going to be very strong overall in this race, I'm going to like him at 18-1 to win this race. All four of those guys could win. I could see all four of those guys in victory lane. And you really can't count out the good finish by the other Toyotas, including Ty Gibbs. Doesn't have the best track record here, but he's going to get it figured out. We talked about this last week. He's young. His records aren't that great. He has the talent to get here, and he's performed at Phoenix in the lower series. Bubba Wallace, he's kind of fringe on whether he's good here or not. He's had some decent runs. He's had those runs derailed by getting into the wall and things like that. But Bubba Wallace could definitely come away with a good finish, as could Eric Jones. He was, in those Legacy Motor Club Toyotas. Eric Jones was a top 15 car here last fall before running into some issues. John Hunter Nemechek and that other Toyota. I expect Toyota to have speed. Definitely think the top four could definitely win if we don't see any of the other favorites win. Few other drivers to keep an eye on. Overall, once again, we're kind of looking at Stewart-Haas Racing. Here's the thing. Stewart-Haas Racing, Phoenix has been one of their best tracks, if not the best track for that organization. They showed more speed last week at Las Vegas than we expected. Chase Briscoe has won here in the next-gen car in Phoenix. He's actually won. You can't say that very much about Stewart-Haas Racing. Kevin Harvick, always good here. He's obviously retired, but Kevin Harvick in that 4 car was always very good here, 21 straight top 10s. So now we get Josh Berry in that 4 car, but we have Rodney Childers still setting it up. Can he put a setup in it that's going to be fast like Harvick was that Josh Berry can drive? Certainly possible. Eric Almirola was always very good in that 10 car at short flat tracks. That's where we always targeted him. Now Gregson's in that 10. Can he do it? He showed a ton of speed last week, finishing 6th at Las Vegas. Can he keep that momentum rolling? And then even Ryan Preece last year, he raced both Phoenix races in the Cup Series last year, finished top 15 in both. Stewart-Haas Racing, I'm not going to sit here and say they can win, but there's going to be some value with them when it comes to fantasy and potentially getting top 10 finishes because they all should have speed. Typically at Phoenix, just to wrap this all up before we head into the weekend, we typically see 2 main dominators at Phoenix. 3 of the 4 next-gen races, we've had 2 drivers lead 95 or more laps in each race. When you consider the fact that these are 312-lap races, that's a good chunk of domination by just 2 guys. The exception was last spring. Larson dominated 201 laps. William Byron only led 64 laps, but still 2 main dominators. That's going to wrap it up this week, talking about Phoenix. Good luck to everybody with their bets, fantasy, and next week we will head on to Bristol.